Hi Sagittarius, happy opposite birthday. Welcome to this space too. If you're new here, my name is Raji, and if you're returning, welcome back. Okay, it's early Sunday morning. Okay, so I guess we'll jump right in here. Let me mention a few things before we'll jump in the pool. We'll deal with the cards in a second, one thing at a time. So, well, I feel as if there's a duality here. It's like some could be really wrapped up in your own world. Which is very inward, and it's inward, right? Which is hard to see the forest for the trees. It could be hard to keep your head on straight. I feel like some of you may feel like you're not playing with a full deck of cards. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of like, wait a second, not all the pieces are here. How do I play this game without all these pieces, like, exactly? So you're going to have to be creative during this time. Okay. Work with what you got. This may even be now for the next, how do I see this? Well, I guess there's a lot about, if you know what it means, your MC is very important. It's your upper heaven. It's the 9th, 10th house cusp. In a basic sense, this is where God sits. This is where faith sits. This is where taking what you have learned, it's being willing to learn and then testing your ability to be able to achieve. Now, I don't feel like this is exactly a time to fully push yourself really hard. It's more of trying to get things in order because, okay, so I chose a different deck for you. You received the card of enlightenment, which is this very young person looking at this very old person, right? Which is kind of Gemini is the child and Sagittarius is the sage, right? So this card actually represents topaz. I don't know if that's important to any of you particularly. I don't remember where that stone, like what it relates to in a zodiac sense, but I know it's baby blue, right? Okay, it says, Topaz is a renowned spiritual teacher, and people travel to hear his wisdom. He is journeying up a mountain to seek private counsel with the great servant. When a young boy stops him, the boy asks, "If enlightenment is to be found in my own mind, how do I get there?" The moment before he disappears into the mist, Topaz replies, "Through your fears." At this time, your journey is more important than your destination. So remember, if you face your fear, you will grow stronger and relief awaits you. This card is very much about trusting your own intuition. It can also be about a little bit taking a bit of quiet time. But then you also had this card of despondence that came out in addition, which is, let's read a bit of this one. It represents the flower of the iris. This card just popped out. What's this about? So despondence is like kind of sadness, right? It's sort of like, I gotta do that. You know, maybe this is a part of that fear thing, or not have, because when you don't have the oomph for something, which is generally you have so much oomph, you know, so much drive and dedication. But it's almost like you got to find good reason for it. You have to believe that there's good reason for it. If you start to lose your belief or lose your faith in any way, then you're going to become despondent, right? So let's read this. It says, Iris is a bit depressed and unable to look after herself or her home. She cries out to the great spirits for help. Mother Earth appears and suggests that Iris shower, eat a good meal, and clean up her house. Basics, right? Good Iris. Suddenly, a hurricane hits and Iris springs into action to rescue her neighbor's children. In the urgency, Iris finds a way out of depression by taking action. So this card represents that the only route out of stagnation is motion. Okay, if we do nothing, we must accept the consequences. So the question here is, in which part of my life am I feeling immobilized? I know what I need to do. Am I willing to trust myself? And then if we move back into enlightenment, which, mind you, after enlightenment, after this card of facing your fear, comes the card of joy, right? So there must be something that's causing you to question yourself or your path, the path, and you know, I feel like there's something where it could be easy at times where you're like, well, I want to do this. And when you, again, want to do something, have the desire to do it, or have the, again, want to do it, then, and you believe that it's important, then it gets done. But I would say I feel like all the mutable signs are driven by other people a bit. It's like influenced by that, or, you know, you're like, okay, well, I gotta get up. Let me give an example. When Zumi and I found each other, I was very depressed. I was in a hard spot, for the most part. And although I had structure, this extra responsibility on my plate helped me to realize, like, it helped me to look at myself more. It helped me to have a better sleep schedule. It helped me to recognize, you know, you got to eat in the morning, you got to eat at night. There's a schedule to things, you know, recognizing when that was and getting a bit of extra, you know, going outside and getting exercise, having to make rules, having to make sure the house was clean. It helped me to look at my home and, like, where I live and, like, is this healthy for the, like, is this healthy where I am? What do I need to change in this? And because of that, I took some really big, bold steps because I had something outside of me that I was responsible for. Because remember, all the mutable signs can be very loose. And whenever you're in a lower feeling about something, or there's too much of a question again, you can spiral. So you have to be careful. Let's see. Yes, because you have the card of strength in the reverse, right? It's almost as if I feel like some of you, your faith is being questioned right now, or you are questioning your own faith, or you're questioning your own ability to do something. It reminds me of Aquarius's reading. Let's open up your cards. Okay, this Gemini season, this time frame, Sagittarius, it's as if your mind is not in the right place, somehow, some way. This could have to do with men or like masculine energy in your life. This is also that determination or action, right? Excuse me. So I'm using brand new cards. Let me see. So your inner child wants you to look at the father actually sits in your inner child, but he's looking over at he's looking to the past. He's also looking to you now. So maybe you want to look deep into the past. What does a father do? It protects us, right? It provides for us. It helps physically when we can't do something, right? It's really anybody where it's kind of like, I can't do this myself. Strength, right? Oh, this little boy. Oh, I want to, how do I do this, right? Is the question here. Maybe you're questioning your own ability at this time for some reason or another. Some of you, I suppose, could be burnt out, but you want to check in with some really basic stuff like this card suggested. How are you sleeping? How's your home situation? How are the people that you live with interacting? How's it emotionally feeling right now? You know, are you doing what you want instead of what you need? This is because that necessity is important, because that's going to make all your relationships with other people better. Now, the thing is even though you may feel like, well, I don't know, like there's confusion right now, right? There's like, again, I see an emphasis of a lack of faith, Sagittarius. This could have something to do with Neptune. But I guess what happens is, okay, so when one is really faithful, when one is like, I can do anything, you know, with you, all things are possible, right? But then even after that belief system is there, you have to do the physical action. So maybe we talked about in the beginning, not pushing yourself, but this is a bit of Libra energy too. It's like, when you can, Sagittarius, please do. Or maybe it's allocating the right amount of time to be like, okay, right now, I don't know what to do about this big future thing, right? 6 months, 9 months down the line, whatever. 6 years, 10 years, all this really big future focused stuff. Even 6 months, it's a long time in a sense, you know? So if you can kind of take that out, I guess you have to very much try to be very present now and be like, okay, what do I need to do now? Because I know this will help the future, right? I keep seeing where a person has this very, like, routine. They've been doing the same thing for a long time, right? They're like, okay, I wake up, I do this, I do that, I do this, da-da-da-da-da. When I see this person, then my this goes this way. When I talk to this person, it goes that way. Like, it's, you know, but instead, it's almost like breaking a routine in a kind of way. It's like, all right, usually when you finish your day, you do this, and then you do that, and then blah, blah, blah. It's almost like before, when your day is, let's say when your day is done, what am I seeing? Instead of just doing because I see a person that has, like, again, there's like this comfort place. They just go back into this routine, but it's not necessarily healthy. So it's like you have to switch something. You have to because you begin, which is understanding that you are your own magical genie. Do you know what I mean? You're like, okay, I wish, boop. Now, I suppose this won't work with other people, right? Like, oh, I wish this person would love me, or I wish that This was like that. When it's out of your control, not having to do with you, you can't wish for things like that and expect them. Because everybody's on their own path. Everybody has their own fate or their own journey, right? So, you know, I heard, I wish I had more. Okay, wait a second. When you lose your faith for some reason, or you're confused, then I suppose, again, let's go back to the very beginning. You have to admit your fear. You have to admit, like, hold on. What is that song? If I hear the chorus, I'll know it. You can't hide those lion eyes. Is that what it is? And your smile. Something disguised. I thought by now you'd realize ain't no way to hide your crying eyes. Is that what it is? That was weird. That never happens. It's almost as if some of you are like, I don't deserve this. Like if you live in a dirty house, it's like, oh, it's like I don't deserve for things to be nice. Or you live in there's something uncomfortable. You're like, well, I don't deserve to be comfortable. That's what one is saying when a situation is negative, I guess, whether it's conscious or not, someone is saying that they feel like they don't deserve that. So I guess this is also admitting, like, that you feel weak or that you don't know what to do. Maybe that's just a part of it, right? It's like, I don't know how to change. Or, I feel like I'm losing my faith. I feel lost. Please help me. Maybe that's a part of it, is like humbling the self to just admit that, so that you can, because it's hard to admit your weakness, right? It's hard to admit weakness. So your challenge right now is actually improvement. It's kind of about seeing the big picture. So I guess I want you to remember that for some of you, this could have to do with a shift in like connection with other people, or a shift in connection, or like a shift, but it's all I was gonna say it too harsh. Hold on. It's like a mental disturbance. That's what's causing the question, is like, remember, we're in Gemini. When I'm recording this, is Gemini time. It's your opposite. Mercury in Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius is debilitated. It's in its fall. So it's not the most comfortable place. It can make you question things and not have a harder time to keep your head on straight. So I guess if you just, right now is a good time for you to change your mind about something, or to at least like admit, because in the future, let's get another card on this. Because I keep hearing someone saying, like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But they're telling themselves that. When you say that, then you can't, right? It's like reinforcing. Remember, Sagittarius, what the mind thinks about is what it will find, right? You ever get a car, like a vehicle or something, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that vehicle everywhere? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, look at this. The 10 and the 9 and the 10 of swords. This is it's like a prison in your mind. It's like really hard to change your mind. But the affliction is coming through loneliness or through, again, like some sort of lack of connection in some kind of way. So is another person or other people for some reason making you feel like, are you focusing too much on that? Because what did we talk about last time in the garden? Moon, yes. If you're the one having the hard time, then remember you have people that are supporting you, that are guiding you to find your way, to take the wheel when you can't, right? You're like, I can't see. I guess this is who is strong in your life, who is people that you admire, that are doing something that you feel is strong, or you feel that you can lean on because you're always so strong. And if this is other people in your life that are having a really hard time and this and that and the third, and you can understand it because you're intuitive and sensitive, right? I feel like Sagittarius has a lot of sensitivity. Cancer is your inconjunct, so you're going to be confused sometimes about like you can be really in tune with other people, but it can also, I don't know, like confuse you sometimes, right? You got to know what is your responsibility or not, what is your direction or not. I really feel like someone's bumming right now. Like someone's like causing, because of some, because of love of because of, I don't know, because of your father, or because of men, or because of love, things like this. Like there's something that's causing you to be like, it interrupts. You know, for instance, this could be where some of you are like, your relationships never work out, and you're like, you're disappointed by why this doesn't work out, but it's like, well, then there's something different that needs to happen, right? Why? Because it's almost like someone's like, why does things never last? Like, or you're worried. Like, say for instance, you are actually really strong, because you are. There's a part of you still, even when you lose faith, that's saying to itself, like, it's unconscious, that's like, you're safe, you're loved, you're protected, you're strong, you're smart, you're magical, you're loving, you're gonna get there, like, you're gonna succeed, right? It's just like an in-between stage. So really watch how you're thinking about things. Maybe some of you need a silent day, like literally silent, you know. And even if you live with your family and you have children and all this, I mean, you can think of animals. They don't really talk. They still get things still are fine, right? It's kind of like taking a little space. And then again, I see where someone's walking into a house and it's messy. It's a messy, I keep seeing a messy house. It's dusty. It's cluttered. It's almost as if like I see someone that's living in a house that it's almost as if they live there, but it's like there's no life in it. So it's so there's something like, what is the house about? It's about comfort, right? This goes back into that Cancerian energy too. Maybe their reading will be helpful for you. Yes, Queen of Swords, most likely, yes. You know, the Queen of Swords is a widow. The Queen of Swords is lonely. The Queen of Swords has been through a lot in her life. She's generally a divorced person, or someone who has separated from that which she loves some way, somehow, right? This card also says the word of loneliness on it. But it has the word of enticement, so it's almost like you have a natural inclination during this time to mentally interrupt your own ability to be able to move forward. But I guess the way for you to move forward is you have to face your fears, or you have to admit, again, like, I keep seeing this little kid is kind of like, I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? You know? And again, I see, I need help. The Devil and the Seven of Pentacles. Yes, I need help. This is also, I mean, I suppose for some of you, this could be where other people, again, in your life are having their own things going on. And so, like that other reading said in the garden, if someone else is the one that, if you're this wise sage and other people are coming to you, then you have the ability to be strong. But it's almost as if you're questioning yourself, like, yeah, you're like, am I? It can, you know, like, again, because if you don't feel strong, or you feel scared, or you feel lazy, or you feel whatever, and then this is how other people feel too, then you just have a pile of mud, right? It's just like a bowl of gruel that no one wants. It doesn't help. It doesn't feel full. It doesn't, there's something like this. So who is it that's strong in your life right now, Sagittarius? Maybe this is one of those things where, like, the father didn't give good direction. Or, like, the kind of the quote, we're putting this in air quotes, right direction when you were a child. I don't know. I keep seeing that. It's like where, I don't know, he was too mean, or he was too, like, there was no direction, or there was too many rules, or something. It's something that was, like, too much on one end or the other. 5. It's okay. So your strength right now is the 6 of Swords, which means this is an air card, right? This is about being headstrong, being strong in your mind. So all that weakness that we were talking about, or all that, I guess you have to admit something, right? Where you're like, I get it. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to get exactly the answer, like all the courage to be like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I mean, and if you're a person that's already feeling this way, then I guess this reading isn't for you. You figured it all out. Congratulations. Rare, impossible, basically, but whatever. The point is that your strength right now is that you can understand that you're in an in-between stage. That you want to focus on the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And that anything that feels stagnant would be motion, right? One paddle at a time. Okay, it totally Libra's reading, one step at a time, self-reliance, right? It's just like, okay, you know, if the wind's just coming at you, it's like, well, drop your anchor down so you don't blow backwards. You know what I mean? Drop your anchor down, oh, that's what we'll do. No, we don't have time. We'll do it another time. I just saw the anchor in the in the Hetchel deck, which the anchor is the most blessed. It's the card that when you land on that card, which I guess we just did in this reading, then this is the most blessed place to be. It's the card, when you land on it, you win. Right? So, and then I saw the wind again. If the mind, for some reason, Sagittarius, is too much right now, or you can't get it straight, again, you don't feel like you're playing with a full deck of cards right now, something like that. You can't find the faith in something, or you're starting to feel weak about something. Well, I see a small daily habits. Please watch them, and you do need a shift or a tweak, because there's something that's going to change in the future. You're going to land on new land, but if it's too much coming at you and you don't have the energy to push, or you don't feel like you have someone to help you, you got to drop your anchor down and wait until that wind is not, I heard, ripping your face off. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose a part of that would also be when you stop, you put that anchor down. And then this is where I guess you have to go into a place of faith, that MC again. And because the Father is God also, you know, in general. I guess that's another part of it, is like, think about how much faith you have gained, you know, at this point. How much faith in God, how much faith in your spiritual space, how much faith you have built in yourself about this life and the magic of it and all of this, right? That's important. With this Six of Swords also being in your strength, this card is also about help. So you do have it, but it's more of it's less of a physical help. It's more of it's information that's helping you to understand about what this in-between space is. Because right now, if you focus too much on the future, you're going to become stagnant in this moment. And that's, again, it's not helpful. It's not helpful. You know, because the thing is some of you could be, because right now, what you're looking at, if I brought the cards down, you would be looking at strength, the Fool, okay? So this is great faith in your heart. Amazing, huge, like, courage in each step that you take, right? And knowing that, like, you will never fall. Do you know what I mean? And even if, for instance, the rug was swept from underneath your feet, 3333, which you're aware you're going to step off that. You're not on a magic carpet, you're on the ground, right? You're grounded. So you have this, then you have the Ace of Wands, which again is about magic, it's about action, it's about taking action. After that, you also are looking at the Three of Wands and then the Two of Wands. It's all this fire. So I would say, please, I guess this could also be another thing where some of you need more physical exercise. Some way, somehow. Or to do something physical is going to help you to realize what your ability, to believe more in your abilities to do. Maybe some of you just want to look around you, if you are and have been very productive lately, and look at something. Or maybe you need to make a list of all the things that need to happen in the future. When you do land here, you're like, okay, you recognize, all right, I'm in an in-between place, but I know in the future this is going to improve, right? Because what do you do when you're confused? That's a hard place to be for Sagittarius, because the opposite is Gemini, and that can be a very, if you get in a dark place, it's almost like you get trapped a little bit. So you want to make sure that you, again, are recognizing what it is that you do have that is solid, you know? You know, say you have a house, but it needs to be cleaned. Well, clean it. You know, make the physical environment, you know, if you're in a relationship and you haven't been having the intimacy that you want, or whatever, or connection with something, it's like, well, maybe you need to switch it up. Go hang out with some friends. Maybe this will help, or go on a date. It's like, this will help you. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Okay, what a different song. Oh, this is awesome. I love life. Thank you. Oh, there's a cardinal. Hey, buddy. Okay, so see, maybe music will also help to motivate you some. Pay attention. Like, do you listen to like slow music, sad music? It's like, that ain't gonna help you. I think you need some upbeat, you need something upbeat, Sagittarius, to get you out when you get stuck too. That may help you, yes, you know, to alleviate some anxiety, or to help you to be more comfortable with where you are. And also to understand, I would also say, just you know, again, you're always so strong. So maybe this is just admitting in your quiet time where you're weak, because God doesn't judge us, you know. We could say that we have friends and family that doesn't judge us, but the reality is we all judge each other in some way or another. Now, is that actually helpful for us to learn and grow, because we're all full of mistakes and childish choices and insecurity, all this? Yeah, it helps. But it's like, to me, God, or whatever you connect to in that spiritual space, is something that, like, it's like a verbal diary. You know what I mean? God doesn't judge. Because I guess when we admit our weakness, that's a part of the path to become stronger. And there is something that you're meant to not do, so that you have space to do something different, right? You know, maybe you need to not talk to certain people so you can have a different conversation, or, you know, because I know you're questioning your friends right now. You're questioning what you're connected to for a community. You know, it's kind of like, are these my friends? You know, like, is this a healthy relationship? You know, things like this. And you're assessing the right parts. It's almost as if maybe you go back in time and think about you and your father. You know, was he an alcoholic? What did he teach you about money? What did he teach you about responsibility? How was his relationship to your mother? It's like these deeper, it's almost as if these deeper family situations, they could be happening now. They could just be mental, right? Deep in this child's mind. But you're also meant to, to conquer to find enlightenment in your own mind. You must face your fears, you know. And I would say, if you know, it's also there's this victim card, which also has Rahu and Ketu, which is the head and the tail of the dragon. So remember, if it's too, if you get too stuck in your head, you have to open your heart. Sad, whatever it is, please open your heart, and maybe you just admit how you feel. Because I know you're always optimistic. But that's not real. No one can feel optimistic all the time. It reminds me of the Buddhist lady on Orange is the New Black or whatever. You know, it's like everybody, what did she say once? She was just like, you know, I can't, sometimes feeling zen all the time, it's like, it's almost as if you're not feeling. You know what I mean? And we all need to feel. 5 of Pentacles, yes. We all 3 of Swords, yes. 2 of Pentacles, yes. It's like we all have hard times. So again, but I see if you face it, then you have the Star and the 10 of Pentacles, which is wonderful for, well, some great family karma cleansing, maybe releasing some kind of burden, releasing some kind of karma. You know what I mean? Understanding the lessons of where you come from. I also see this could be where you in the world is now asking you to become a stronger person by admitting your weakness and changing something that you got into a rut about. Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost as if, even though you're a mutable sign, it almost feels as if you're afraid to change about something. Didn't we talk about that in the garden too? It was like, if you're attached to anything, or if it's too tightly interwoven and you're not open, please watch Cancer's reading. It's going to be more uncomfortable if you're open to the change, which I suppose, again, for some of you could just be like, I don't feel strong right now, and admit it. Then you gain by being honest in that way. You gain by actually not being happy. Or admitting, again, 2 of Pentacles, Temperance. Like admitting, you know, that, well, I guess you don't have full control. So who do you give your control? Who do you believe has full control over this world? Whoa. 3 of Cups, yeah. You know, and you'll be happy again, whatever it is. It's easy for you to go there. But I guess that's the whole point, is admitting that sometimes it's an in-between place. Okay, I don't want this to run out of space. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. You'll be okay. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.